Hey guys, it's your favorite cousin Nick with Cool Kid Mows RC, man. How do the cool kids mow? They mow with an RC. And today, this video, this one is just a wrap up. The season's about to wrap up, and I'm just contemplating everything. Seeing how everything went, and it was really good. I learned a lot. And as far as like going to people's houses and, trying to get them to be introduced to, lawnmowers and things of that nature, it's not that bad, you know what I mean? So the only thing is that I had, in the beginning, I was like, you know what? Like I went to fairs and I would do a special that I would waive the fee. And then I got a lot of those, but I didn't realize. So sometimes, being a small business, you learn the hard way because like in a small business, it's only you. So this season was good. I didn't get any crazy things happen. I got some jobs just to do some hills, things like that. Next time I'm going to show you guys that, because what I do is I bring a guy that runs a drone to learn good, you know what I mean? Because this is my first time, so I'm trying to, with this machine right here, and so how did my machine Daredevil mows? It's right now, I would say good. I have to say so far, but it's still early. I only had it for, 3 months. I did find out a few issues that I got to call the manufacturer on to try to fix. I think I brought them up in other videos and things like that. The controller and a few things. So I mean, right now it's doing good. I will contact about the controller, and so I mean, it's an impressive machine, man. It really is. And if you take the time to do the safety and learn how to use it, it's a very cool machine. So right now I would say good. Everything's, nothing bad happened. But I would say, you have to know about runaways. It's like, how about this? If I didn't know that much about RCs, I think I would have had a little bit of a harder time learning, So the Daredevil did good. And well, what I learned from going to talking to people and seeing their lawns, like me, if all I wanted was a lawnmower and I already got that snowblower, I need a new one though. So I would, because this one was 4,000, right? So, and the reason why I bought this one, I went with this one, is because I figured like this. If I went with a big guy, I think it was, I went with Amazon, and I was like, well, if Amazon is partnering up with them, then they got to be, I was trusting Amazon because that's a big thing, let's say even if you spend $2,500, and something goes wrong and you're stuck with it. So I'm saying everything worked as it should. I think you have to spend a lot of time getting information about the remote and things like that. But what I learned is, if I own this house, and what I'm learning is if a guy doesn't mind snow blowing his driveway, with him, like I'm noticing between 1,500 and 2,500, depending on the options, is what most people get. So 95% of people, if you live like in the suburbs, like I live in East Hartford, we just have flat ground, no crazy hills. You don't need something just to cut the grass, but I'm going to get into why you need it if you like. So the biggest seller that I'm noticing is the one, an autonomous unit. They're between 15 and 2,500 bucks. Like I think for $2,500 you can get an autonomous unit, and it has the bagger. That's the one that most people go right for. It's a lot smaller, it has wheels, but if you don't have any crazy hills or nothing nuts, you're just nice flat, 15 and 25, like even the 2,500 has got a bagger. So if you want the bagger and the line, I think the 1,500 could do line. I don't think it could do lines. So I'm not sure. But yeah, those are, so autonomous and smaller is 95%, but 100% is if you want to put a snowblower. Like if you want to combo a lawnmower, one and a thing to do the leaves, like I showed you. Like with this could push a blower. The best way to do the leaves is with the blower. You stick a blower on this thing with wheels, and this thing will blow. The only difference is the blowers are like, they start at 300. So, I mean, am I going to buy every attachment? I think you could understand that this thing could push a blower, because you start the blower and then the blower just blows the leaves. So I will tell you this. This is what I learned. Remember, I'm your favorite cousin Nick. I'm going to tell you the truth. We're in my garage and I'm just talking. I'm just like, okay, so remote controls. The biggest thing is people like the ones that are autonomous, and they like the $1,500 price point. So, but that's a lot, right? But the ones that want some, like those $1,500 and even the $2,500 unit, maybe the $2,500 unit could do the leaves, maybe, but it can't push a snowblower. You know, I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you that, yeah, this $2,500 unit is going to push a snowblower in East Hartford when it's, 22 degrees below zero one crazy year. Lately, we haven't had that much snow, but it could go crazy. And give it a minute and the weather will change in New England. So what I'm saying is the hot sellers are the autonomous ones, 1,500 to 2,500, depending on if you want a bagger. It could possibly do the leaves, yes, okay, but no, it's not going to do the snow. But if you want something that does the grass, could pull a cart, the thatcher, aerator, seeder, spreader, sprayer, snow blower, shovel, plow, then you got to get this thing, baby. And that price point is $2,500 to $3,000. And you get the snow blower, that leaf attachment, the one that the sweeper, and the snow blower, the leaf, not a blower, but a sweeper and a snow blower for between $3,000, $3,000. That's not bad. That's another price point that people like. And I'm trying to work. The problem that I'm having is the money, because this is like, this is also me building a business. So I'm going to my investors and saying to them that I need 300 grand, and I'm going to take 5 years to pay you back, and I'm going to pay you back $20,000. So I'm only going to, in 5 years, they're only going to get 20 grand. And I also tell them that you have no control over this company. That's why it's taken me so long. I know a lot of guys Because what I'm saying is, like I said, I came from the old school. So the guys I've been talking with is just people who, how do I want to say it? Name principles mean a lot to them. That's the best way to say it. Old world values, like if, for instance, I've gotten a good reputation, that if I cut grass, I've had a business my whole life. I worked in restaurants, a lot of, I have a lot of connections within, my name has good within the community of the Merchants Association I told you guys about. And a lot of those guys are business owners. And $300,000 to a guy that's owned 3 pizza shops for the last 45 years, that's not that much. Plus he's got, so I'm not telling you I'm talking to, bank. I'm welcome to that, but they don't lend money anymore. That's a whole different story. It's almost next to impossible to get a loan from a bank, unless you're asking for $1 trillion, then, which is interesting. So I don't know anything about that. I stay in my lane, but the key point is this. So I'm going to local investors. Obviously I talk to everybody. But yeah, I have a very good reputation as somebody who's loyal. Now, I'm not saying I made anybody a million, but I have a good reputation for being someone who does now I'm not saying, have I ever missed an appointment? I have lost customers because of, yes, but I learn from every step of the way and try to, say, yes, I messed up, and, I learned from it. But overall, I've always done good, and I'm talking to people. The only thing that, is like hard is because you're fighting against, like, I give you an example, like if the market's making 12% and I'm not matching that, why would they let me borrow money? The only reason is like when when we were going through a very hard time, you guys may remember that interest rates got as low as negative. Deutsche Bank had negative, meaning you give the bank $1,000, then in 5 years they give you back $900. No, you give them $1,000, yes, and they give you back in 2 years they give you back $900. That's how scary things were. So I'm not saying things are bad. I'm just saying that I am a guaranteed. Like if I have a good reputation, that if I say I'm going to give you $320,000 in 5 years, it's as good as gold. Like my name, I've worked very hard to have a good name, and and it's scary because especially with nowadays with technologies, people could take people's names and everything like that. So it's we got to just do our best to promote truth, and that's what I'm here. I'm just telling you guys the truth, everything about my business. So my thinking is I'm getting orders together, and I go to the I shop the best one, and put, let's say, between 10 orders, 20 orders. I would love to do 100 orders, and I get, and then I offer my warranty that if I can't come to your house and fix it in an hour, I just drop off another unit. Because like I said, when I'm buying bulk, I'm going to buy a few extra ones for myself, for my insurance. Because what I'm saying is, I figure like this, like out of 100 units, 3, for whatever reason, they're just not going to work. I've come to that understanding. And it could be the operator. Like 3 of them are just not going to get it, and they thought it was a fit, but you may have to give them another one or something. So I'm gonna take some for myself, so that way I could offer my insurance. So yours breaks down, you come, I try to come in, because my thinking is if your snowblower breaks in the wintertime, you don't want to take it to a shop and wait 3 weeks. Within 3 weeks, you're already buried. So with it being new, I want to have people to make sure that they can have it replaced in a reasonable amount of time. So, and especially the little ones. The little ones, if it's something I can't fix, I just hand you another one. I mean, they're not little. I mean, they're just plastic, got wheels. I mean, they're tough. I mean, they're a $2,500 serious RC autonomous unit, but they're just not a beast monster like this that's pulling, 400 pounds, So that's what I mean. You know what I mean? So, okay. So what do we learn? We're learning that, a lot of people like the little ones and they don't want to, they got a snow blower and they're happy with that or whatever. Maybe they got a tractor and they could do it in 2 seconds with their tractor. And it's got like a 60-inch, Massimo thing on it. So whatever. So, okay. So that's a big thing. But like I said, if you want the lawnmower, the aerator, the dethatcher, sprayer, snowblower, you got to get this thing. And one thing that I'm working on too is guys, I'm going crazy though, dude. So dudes, listen, I was looking at, those arms that we used to see when we were kids, like, how those arms put things together, like, and they were at factories. You know what I'm talking about? By the way, I had to sell a lot of my stuff to invest in this. Like I said, keeping this, curing yourself of cancer is not cheap. So, so by the way, my I got a phone call. So, all right. So listen, guys, I'm going to wrap this up real quick. All right. So real quick. Point number 1, the smaller units are good, but if you want an all-terrain vehicle that does everything, this is the package you could go with. And it's not that much. So I'm looking for investors. Oh, the arm. I want to put a remote control arm so it could hold the weed whacker. Bros, I'm trying to do that. I'm very excited about it. So spread the word. Cool Kid Mo's RC. We're coming with arms to raise awareness about, those robots, to raise awareness about trimmers, man. You gotta have the trimmers to cut the edges. And we're gonna do it, guys. All right, man. It's your favorite cousin Nick with Cool Kid Mo's RC.